What's a recession? Okay, so in the simplest terms, a recession is a significant decrease in economic activity that lasts anywhere from a couple months to a little over a year or more. If that definition seems vague, it's because it is. Recessions are such a hard event to categorize because there's no fixed measure of what they are. One of the requirements is a trend of declining economic output, which can only be seen over time. And this means that recessions can only be identified after they've happened. But the rule of thumb is that if a country's GDP, that's gross domestic product, has 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, it's most likely in a recession. Now, if that negative growth is small and not particularly painful or worrisome, like if growth declined by like 0.01%, that would be called a technical recession, because it technically fits the definition, but it has little effect in the real world. So how do recessions impact you, the average citizen? I'm assuming. Well, one of the biggest consequences of a recession is rising unemployment rates. This is because companies might not have as much money to employ as many people as they used to, which can lead to layoffs and fewer opportunities available for people looking for jobs. And that, in turn, can cause lowered consumer spending because people have less money. Then there's a further drop in demand, leading to a further decrease in production. So now even fewer workers are needed, and the cycle continues. Multiple things can trigger a recession, and not all recessions start for the same reason. But some of the most common causes can include unexpected economic shocks. These are surprise events that impact the economy and how money flows. Take COVID, for example, and how it caused so many people to lose their work and paychecks, and at the same time interrupted the supply chain of goods, making them harder to get and more expensive. Too much debt. If too many businesses or individuals are carrying debt they can't afford, it can lead to a critical number of people defaulting on their loan and can affect the entire economy. That happened during the subprime loan crisis in the United States in 2007, when mortgage defaults triggered a global financial crisis. Asset bubbles. When certain markets are overvalued, such as housing, it can create an asset bubble. Once these inflated bubbles pop, the sudden loss of value can negatively impact the whole economy. And if you're interested in learning more about housing bubbles, we have another What Is Explainer video on it. There's a link in the description. Inflation. When the cost of living goes up, overall spending goes down and the economy takes a hit. And then to cool down inflation, central banks often increase interest rates. That slows inflation, but it also makes it harder for so many people to pay their debts, triggering loan defaults and the start of a recession cycle. So at this point, you might be asking yourself, what's the difference between a recession and a depression? Good question. There's generally no accepted formula to classify either, but a depression is a more severe economic downturn that lasts longer than a recession, years versus a couple months, has a worse overall impact on the economy, and takes longer to recover from. Depressions are so much worse than recessions that at the time of filming this video, Canada has only ever experienced one depression, and that was the Great Depression in the 1930s. During the Great Depression, national spending decreased 42%, and unemployment was up to an alarming 30%. That's 1/3 of the population without work. Depressions are thankfully a rare economic event, but recessions are a normal part of the business cycle. And while they're difficult to predict, experts suggest you can prepare for them by making sure you have an emergency savings to cover you in case something happens to your employment, keeping your debts down, and not letting your emotions dictate your investment decisions. And now you know what a recession is, some ways that they can get started, and how a recession is different from a depression. Thanks for watching this episode of TVO's What Is Explainers. If you want to watch more videos like it, you can click around me. If you want to suggest another topic for me to explain, you can tweet me at 500 Days of Ariana. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to push the like button and subscribe for more educational content. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.